well. Welcome to the webinar that's all about love. We are talking about the topic of love in honor of the Love Month, February. And we thought it would be very important, to speak about something that we've all been talking about, we've experienced. We've just come out of, Valentine's. Some of us are happy, others are still complaining. But today we are going to discuss all the things love. We're going to know why, we were happy about Valentine's or we're not happy, all the different things that we think about it. But I would like to appreciate Minet for bringing us this webinar and for hosting us. For those who are here for the very first time, you're welcome. This is a monthly session. We have a session every month where we talk about the topical issues and we bring people to discuss these issues. So this month, like I've said, is all about love. Minet has hosted us. And for those who don't know Minet, Minet is a Pan-African risk advisor that's currently operating in 10 African countries. And Minet offers solutions around risk, reinsurance, and people. Our people solutions are geared to ensuring that people are healthy and also look at their well-being. We offer these solutions through medical insurance, but also through wellness. And how are we offering these solutions? We are running them through our employee assistance programs. For those who are not conversant with employee assistance programs, these are work-based programs that are free, voluntary, that are very confidential to allow people manage their issues, either personal issues or work-related issues, in a very, very confidential way. And so we offer our wellness solutions through that. These are work-based solutions, and we work with a number of specialists to be able to deliver that. We work with psychologists, we work with counselors, we work with medical health workers, we work with psychiatrists, also organizational therapists, career coaches, mentors, nutritionists, and etc., etc. So why is it important for you to have an employee assistance program? There could be somebody, a business owner here, a CEO, an HR, a manager, and you're wondering why should you have, an EAP, employee assistance program for your staff. An EAP will ensure that your people have an avenue, to find help for the different issues that they deal with. That issues affect us differently. 1 minute somebody's okay, and the next minute, they are shutting down because of something. And once they seek support, they are able to, you're able to maintain a healthy workforce. It reduces stress, it reduces absenteeism, it also reduces, frequency of sickness, and then it ensures that people are giving 100% at the job. So why are we talking about love? Like I'd said, it was in honor of the Love Month, February, but also 70% of the issues that we deal with in our counseling programs rotate around relationships. And we know that love is very important. It's the foundation of all relationships, And the visitors today, our panelists will speak to us and tell us why, why love affects us the way it affects us. I know there are different places where you can find information about love, on the internet. There are memes going around. But I thought it would be important to bring people who have studied, this topic, who have experience in this topic, and who have spoken to people about this topic to be able to break it down for us. Today we'll know what is love, what isn't love. So you're welcome. If there's anybody who you'd like to join us today, please prompt them, send them the link. They can still register and attend. But I'd like to go straight to our panelists today. I'm very honored today to sit with very important people today, and I'd like to introduce them. I know when they're speaking to us, they'll go through their profiles once again. But first, I'd like to introduce somebody that people know as Dr. Love. If you don't know Dr. Love around town, I don't know. He describes himself as a 6-in-1 expert because he's an entrepreneur, he's a counselor, he's a social worker, a teacher, a journalist, and a publisher. He's been counseling on love since 2002. He's been a columnist in the Daily Monitor. That was in 2001 to 2004. And then after, the New Vision from 2004 up to date. He's also a publisher. He's written a book, and he'll talk about it later in the session. And also, he's been married for 35 years. He has children and grandchildren. Dr. Love, you're welcome.
You're most welcome. Thank you. Viewers, I'm happy to be here and happy to share with you what I've gathered over time. It's not always good to have knowledge and dying with it. At my age, I realize I won't live forever. So it's always good to have such an opportunity to share with you.
Thank you so much. You're welcome today. And our next panelist is none other than Dr. Eva Satwine Kansime, who is a psychologist and mental health professional. A number of you, when you registered, you left comments and said you can listen to Eva's any day, anytime. So we are glad to have her today. Eva has over 15 years experience in mental health and psychosocial support services. She's the CEO and founder of International Center for Mental Health and Family Care, which is a workplace and family-focused organization. She has specialized skills in marriage and couple therapy, parenting, and relationship coaching. Also, she has a first degree in social work and social administration. She has a master's degree in demography and population studies from Makerere University, a postgraduate diploma in counseling psychology, doctorate of humanities from Open Christian University, and is currently pursuing a PhD in mental health and counseling psychology at Nkumba University in Uganda. Welcome, Dr. Ivas.
Thank you so much.
We are happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Now that I've introduced our panelists for today, let's dive into the topic. Like I said, today we'll talk about all things love. I hope we have enough time. Some of you submitted a few questions before, and then I know that others will be coming in the session. Please, you're encouraged to fill the Q&A, go to our chat box and send all those questions, and the experts today will answer them. But I'd like to start with what seems like very basic. We promised that we will go to the basics, and I want us to start at the basics. Dr. Ivas, what is love?
What's love?
What's love?
Thank you so much. Happy to be speaking to you about this important topic. First of all, Doreen, these conversations are important because they touch on life and living. So happy to be talking about love and relationships. So what is love? I've had a number of people say, love is not an emotion, love is a decision or whatever. People have so many things. But love is an emotion.
Okay.
Love is a very complex emotion. And I've explained to people that we all have positive and negative emotions. You see, these emotions are fitted in us to facilitate life. We have the positives, we have love, which I'm coming to, we have joy, we have happiness, we have all those are emotions. But we also have the negative, we have hate, we have anger, we have regret, we have a number of them. Now, if I may just touch on the negative one, for instance, like anger. Anger is a negative emotion, but important for our lives because it helps us to know when we are mistreated.
Okay.
You see, the emotion of regret is important for us to know what we've done wrong and helps us to regroup, re-strategize, and do things positively, right? But let me go to love. So love is a positive emotion. Now, emotions, negative ones, if they are not managed well, they can deplete you. Positive ones, if they are not managed well, they can actually also get you out of shape, if you wish. So the emotion of love is complex. It is the core of all relationships. And it comes with, it has 3 characteristics, which I want to emphasize here. One is affection. Affection is a desire to connect. Now, I'm defining this because I'm going to talk about what is not love.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so affection, which is a desire to connect. And human beings were created to connect, you know. And when we connect, we get happy. It hacks that happiness hormone, which makes us well. You know, we're talking wellness. It also comes with an emotion, rather a feeling of kindness, which is important for reduction of pain, a desire to reduce pain, right? I'm emphasizing this because I know some of the love relationships are very painful, very, very painful. So that desire to reduce pain, but also commitment, you see? So that is love. Now, if those elements are not there, then it is not love. So love should have affection, Okay?
Kindness.
Tenderness. Tenderness, which is ability or sensitivity to pain, right? And then devotion, which is commitment. So those three, that is love.
Wow.
So anything out of it is not love. Now, so let me tell you what love isn't. Love is not infatuation.
Okay.
And most of the time it's confused for infatuation. So what is infatuation? Infatuation is an intense feeling, but it is short-lived, right? It is intense. It is an obsession. It is an obsession. But what makes it different from love is that it is so self-centered. Someone gets in, not to connect, but to get what they can get out of it. Right? So love is different from infatuation because of that. It's not an obsession. It's not self-centered. It is not short-lived. As a matter of fact, from the standpoint of relational science, infatuation, that intense feeling where someone doesn't sleep and they feel they cannot wait to see the other person, but they need to check, am I desiring to connect or to get for me?
Wow.
Right? So it doesn't run on logic. It runs on what I get.
Wow.
Right? Not to connect, but what I get. And that feeling always has its lifespan on a person is only 4 months. Because the brain can't keep it, and in any case, it wasn't authentic.
So if somebody's obsessed with me for more than 4 months, then they love me.
Then they
you
love you, 100%. So
then
if
they
they
love
are
me.
so obsessed and the feeling is real, it is authentic, then that means it's love.
Wow.
But if it is just for me what I get from the relationship, then it is infatuation.
Wow, thank you so much. So many things to unpack. That's why I told you it's very important to have people who have studied, who have invested their time, into the topic. What I get from what Dr. Eva says is that if you're in something, for now we're not calling it love until we know, and there's no affection, there's no kindness, and there's no commitment,
There's no
then it
tenderness,
might
yes.
not be love.
Yeah.
But later we'll find out what do we do. Maybe before I leave you, Evas, why is love an important human aspect?
Oh, it is important because you see, maybe some of you have heard me talk about relational health,
Okay.
right? So we have two aspects of health. We have physical, but we have relational. So relational health also feeds, you see? Relational health, just the same way you talked about nutrition, and all, they tell you, okay, this is the meal you eat to be healthy. So even relational health feeds.
Okay.
Now, love is one of the most important things on the menu. It's actually core to relationships, because then when you have love, you have hope, you have joy, you have peace, that is the menu. We call it food for relational health. Now, love is the biggest, because it determines peace, it determines all the other things. It gives us hope, it gives us a feeling of being desired, gives us happiness. So it is important. It's core to relational health. And relational health is 90% of human health. Yeah. You see? So it is very important that we know that our other health, what we call invisible, mental, or emotional, relational health, that doesn't feed on food or chapati or whatever. We feed on how we are treated, how we feel, how, so that's why it's important for relationships.
It's the most important
It's
thing
the
on
most
the
important
menu.
thing. Yes, on the menu.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Eva. Dr. Ivas is just introducing something. I think what you're trying to say is that love is the spice of life.
Oh, yeah,
it is.
It's
Wow.
life itself. Love is life.
For somebody who understands, I think, these dimensions, they might be able to understand, if somebody loves them or doesn't love them. Dr. Love, you've been talking to us about love for a very long time. How do I know if somebody loves me?
Thank you, Doctor. That was very insightful. Love is difficult to define because it is, even in research, when you are looking for parameters to see whether it's love, to calculate love, it becomes very difficult. I need to add to Doctor's submission that love is a situation. the problem, and that's why we have problems in as like heartbreaks. We want to use love as a utility, as a device to achieve an end. And there, the pieces within it cannot connect. Love is a situation, and because it's a situation, it depends on perceptions of people. Depends, and the perceptions therefore depend on their socio-economic status, on their cultural upbringing, on their exposure. So therefore, within your own context, you'll find that your perception of love is different. So I usually use an image of the blind people and the elephant touching different parts and saying this is, an elephant is flat, an elephant is round and stuff like that. But all of these facets in aggregation, so you cannot see just a piece and make it love. You have to see it as a whole. But also, love has a metamorphosis. Love develops. Love cannot stay. If you look at the housefly, we studied metamorphosis in school. We have egg, larva, pupa, adult. So the love expression at the egg stage, when love is new, is different in form, character, and intensity to the love expression when love has matured into a pupa, or a larva and then a pupa. So when you are at larva stage, you are likely to say, but this is not the love I used to see at the egg stage. And it's good for it to metamorphose because love requires a lot of energy. So it has to develop such that this energy that you needed at the beginning of the love relationship can now be freed to do other things. And for that matter, I counsel people who go in marriage and start saying, he used to do this, she used to do this, But that is a characteristic at an age stage. What keeps like transaction, that like in the same and underlying all stages of love is loyalty. It makes you loyal. It makes you selfless. Love, I think, is one emotion that is able to attack our innate, our original, our traditional selfishness and the desire to live forever, to self-preserve. Because when love comes in, you find you're starting to be selfless, you're starting to be willing to offer yourself, even at times when it's uncomfortable to do it. You love the gifting, even when it's not you who is receiving. So that then becomes the emotion. So when you have this, it doesn't matter what kind of emotion you have at the egg stage, it could be at another stage. And lastly, I also need to say that you may not need to define love. When it comes to you, you will realize that this is love.
Wow.
And genuine love even does not depend on how you're loved back. Genuine love comes, and in spite of everything, in spite of what others think, in spite of how you're treated, genuine love will come in and take root, and you will adjust all your facets to fit in it.
I like what you say, that you don't need to define love. If you're loved, you know. So the moment I start asking, does he love me? I am confused. I'm not sure if he loves me. Then it is not.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. You said something that Dr. Ivas talked about. You talked about loyalty. Dr. Ivas had also said commitment. I see we are coming to the same thing.
Devotion.
But also one thing you talked about, Dr. Love, it seems to me that we are giving up too soon. You know, we're giving up too soon because you described how different love shows at different stages. So sometimes you're at just a different stage and you think you're out of love, yet it's just a different stage.
Yes, giving up is sometimes not a function of a decision. It could be, you see, genuine love should be reciprocated. Actually, it should inspire reciprocation. Because love is, a big part in an individual affair, but because it involves some other person, therefore it needs an ecosystem. When I love you, that is love on my side. But for love to be whole, I need you in the definition. So love becomes an emotion involving two people. Now, I must love you and you love me back. So giving up one might be good. If I love you and I'm not loved back, it could be because of me, I'm not lovable. It could be because that person doesn't find me attractive. And during dating, it is perfectly okay to give up and try again. Because the ocean is full of fish. So the dating stage helps you to gravitate with a person who loves you back, with a person with whom you can adjust to and form a permanent relationship. But at a certain point, once this has happened and you proceed to marriage becomes now a protracted effort of living with another person who is different from you in many forms. Now you need love as an oil, as a lubricating oil, as a shock absorber, as a motivation factor to make you adjust to this person, make you step forward holding hands to engage the world. So their giving up becomes like a betrayal. Because love, I was telling people the other day that the winners of the last Valentine's Day are those who gave, not those who received.
But it must be reciprocated.
It doesn't have to be. You need to enjoy the giving. You see, if the giving makes you happy, you see, there's what we call utility. The utility is the satisfaction you get from consuming or engaging in an activity. When I give and I am happy, and I'm given back, it becomes a bonus. When I'm not given back, I love the giving. It fulfills me. It makes me happy seeing the recipient's happiness. And that happiness is because of me. And that happiness might actually etch a memory in their brain. And that memory will be important for me later. Maybe at old age when I'm too old and I need help. And I'm asking, bring me some water. And they remember the gift I gave in 2025. And they say, this person really loved me. And I'm giving water. It's an investment. If you see it, if you want to see it as an investment. So the giving is vital. So in a way, giving up would be okay if you haven't started, if you haven't transformed into a public marriage where you are stepping into the world together. But when you have reached there, then giving up, because of human beings are difficult people to deal with. You're in love with a fellow human being who is not perfect. Even you're not perfect. So love then, you actually need love to elicit an effort, energy, investment, motivation in working hard at the relationship. Keeping the love relationship on course, because it keeps like a butterfly or a drunken person getting off the main. You wrestle it back to the main. You need to forgive, you need to forget, you need to innovate and keep the love going, because this love is the fuel. Without love, many people have married without love. All marriages succeed if you work on them, whether there is love or not. But if there is love, you'll use less energy than the other person who doesn't have love. You'll use less energy, meaning that the energy you save will be invested in something else that requires energy. You'll find that your businesses are working, your social relationships are working, we are talking about mental health. Your mental health, your ambience is okay, you are a happy person, just because the fundamental, the basic emotion of love is in the right place. We now these days have a temptation to marry or to partner with people just because of the advantages we'll get from it. And that is using love as a utility to access a marriage partner, to access their resources, to access a higher socioeconomic status in the community. When you do that, when there is no love, you'll find it very difficult to adjust. So you'll be using a lot of energy. So in other words, your future will not be as smooth as a person who stepped into this life with love, maybe less resources. Over time, they will overtake you because you are wasting time in management of the marriage. And for them, they have energy for other things.
Wow. The topic is getting complex, but I'm encouraged because at the start, Dr. Eva said love is a complex emotion. So if you're finding things complex like I am, please stay with us. Please stay with us. If you are on call and you're wondering how to get part of this program or to have this program for your staff, please send an email to us at hope@minet.co.ug. hope@minet.co.ug. And if from the panelists there is something you want clarity on, or you want to ask a question, there's that burning question, you want clarity on anything about love, or how love feeds into our mental well-being, please, our chats are open, our Q&A is open, write to us and we'll pick up that question and the panelists will answer. Dr. Love said something, but I want to go back to Dr. Evas. You talked about the menu. I'm still focused on that menu, and you said, love is the most important thing, and now Dr. Love said, what, a marriage can survive without love, but if it is love, if there is love, I think it's simpler. Dr. Evas, can love alone sustain a relationship?
You see, okay, let me answer that question, but if you allow me to say something
please.
About...
Yes, please.
You asked how can people see that they are loved? Because
yes.
It's important. And I just want to build on what my colleague has said.
Please.
I think if I were to say one thing that is important is that love understands. When you know that someone understands you, there is that, because he talked about how we marry people just for just. I've heard about relationships just for just. That's embarrassing. Situationships. But you see, when you love someone, you would desire to understand them. And in my work as a therapist, as a marriage therapist, I've found that people start relationships with someone they never understood, right? And then they say, how did I end with this person? Honestly, I didn't sign up for this. But you didn't know them. You didn't take time to know them. You just fell.
We fell in love, yes.
You didn't manage your love. They are different. And I want to say to listeners, please don't just fall in love. Just make sure that your love is managed and has logic behind it. That's why I talked about the three elements. The desire to connect, that affection, the commitment, the sensitivity to pain. That is important, because who wants a painful relationship? So it's very important that we connect with someone that understands us and is going to accept us unconditionally. Now, he talked about love as a service. Love is service. Relationships are ministry. It's service. It doesn't though mean that you should be taken for granted, and that's, he talked about reciprocation. It should be reciprocated. So when we say give, come on, like whoever is listening, don't just give, because there's also a point where you're going to be taken for granted.
And you'll get tired.
And it can be, it can be exhausting. Yes. Now, you also need to know, now I'm not giving anyone a ticket to run if they don't receive back, but you need to understand. You need to understand the person. And honestly, social awareness is very important. If I'm dating someone, they have never gotten anything, they are learning. And he also beautifully talked about how love evolves. You see, in life, we learn. Life is a learning journey. Now, if you've dated someone for certain things that you have considered important, right? But they don't know one or two things, it doesn't mean you run, because you're going to run forever. You'll never get a finished product. You see, in these love relationships, we all grow. We learn, we unlearn, we relearn. We learn, we unlearn, we relearn. So it doesn't mean that every person you meet and they don't have what you want immediately, then you just run. You need to consider the most important things to you in a relationship. What are they? You see, we call it a personal value system. What is so important to you? And then when you get into this relationship, you see the person who you're relating with, who will have weaknesses guaranteed, who will not do everything right. But you have to consider that they can't come as a finished product. Then there are certain things you're going to consider. You can compromise on certain things. But if you have certain things that are non-negotiables, then you have to consider them. So it's, I guess I've said so many things, but the key point is, let's try to understand. Let not your love be blind. I think you've heard me say, if your love is blind, you're in for a rude awakening. Because love should be logical. Yes, it is an intense emotion, but it requires management. You have to think through it. You have to put it in a framework of logic. Love has to, how do you know someone loves? They have to celebrate you. I've seen painful relationships where you're with someone who pulls you down. That might be an indication of low self-esteem or low confidence on the other side. And, they are scared of you. So many things. Someone who doesn't celebrate you and they are your partner.
Because for us, we think if you're talking about celebrating, we are already triggered, Valentine's was just a few days ago. And for some of us, celebrating me, sending me flowers, putting me on your status, sending me some money bouquets. You can't just even send me a bouquet without money, That's my idea of celebration. That's many people's idea of celebration. And then you think somebody loves you and then they didn't celebrate you and then they're telling you, I don't believe in Valentine's. But that is how I want to be celebrated.
That's all right. But you see, two ways. Either they don't know what you love, or you're not on the same page on some of these things, and that's what he talked about. Doesn't mean everyone who bumps into you is going to be your partner. And so there are certain things that if that is so key to you, then it's probably something you need to communicate and they know. And if they are hell-bent on me, that's not my love language, or I want to love you my way, then you have to make some decisions, and maybe you can also speak to a professional counselor and be able to make a good decision. But yes, celebrating us is important, and celebrating is not only in Valentine's. It could be day to day. How do they celebrate your little achievements? How do they see you? How do they? I'm glad to have a partner who is my cheerleader. He goes like, keep going. That's really good. I'm so proud of you. Simple little things, not just a bouquet or with money. And of course, it's also, we also know someone loves us when they respect us. Really, respect is important. Your basic dignity, very important. What you love is important. For instance, I love soccer. My husband didn't love soccer.
Wow.
You see? But when we got married, he supports a certain, we are in different teams, I will not say here.
Let's know.
Yeah, but he loved soccer because I love soccer. You see, he respects me. Wow. He doesn't pull me down or arm twist me. He loves that I love that. And so that's how we know someone respects. He respects my boundaries. And I want to speak to people who are relating. Boundaries are important. Where you say, this I can't do, then someone says, you have to do it for me. Come on. Boundaries. Respect my boundaries. So respect, in whichever way you define respect, please, that's important, an important element of someone who loves you, who doesn't come to impose themselves on you and demand respect while they disrespect you. That is very, very important. Someone who prioritizes your well-being. That's why I talked about sensitivity to pain. Come on, someone who doesn't care hurting you and causing pain to you, and then they say they love you, you probably want to reevaluate.
Sometimes they'll say something and maybe they're disrespecting you, but then they say, that's how I am, that's how I speak.
Yeah, so you
need to understand, that's how I am, that's how I speak, that's how I was raised, I don't find that, rude.
Yes, but you see, that is a communication that someone is not willing to make adjustments. I'm a life coach, so I'm always against any person who says, that's who I am. Oh, that's shameful. You see, we are always on a journey of self-improvement. And any feedback we get from people, we should evaluate it. Probably they mean it. For instance, if you go around, I was talking to a lady recently who told me that everywhere she goes, she's told that she's an angry person. And she said, but me, I'm not angry. So I asked her, how many people have told you you're angry? And she listed them. So I said, do you think you could be right against these 5 people? Right? And some of them are core people in her life. And it turned out she had anger issues.
Wow.
So you can't go around saying, me, that's who I am, I'm angry. Come on. All of us have to be better. And if you're in a relationship and you get feedback, we have to be better. Now, Doreen, I forgot the question you asked me.
No, we're talking about how you were supplementing when doctor said, how can you know that somebody loves you?
Yes.
But later I asked, is love enough to sustain a relationship?
So love as an emotion is not enough to sustain a relationship, right? It requires management, right? Love has to be managed, and it has to be managed by skill, okay? Because it doesn't matter how much you love each other, you're going to conflict. How do you manage conflict? Do you manage conflict in a way that is sensitive to your love relationship, where you're considerate of the other person, where you're empathetic, where you desire that a conflict gets resolved, and then you bounce back into enjoying your love relationship, right? So what you're saying, I hear people say, oh, I think we didn't love each other after all. That's not true. We love, but then there's so much management. How do you communicate? Communication is skill. Communication is a big skill. People think communication is talking. No, talking is actually only 7%. Yeah? Communication is only 7% words. But the rest is, and it has to be respectful communication. So even the words you use in communication have to be respectful, not angry, harsh words. And then you think you're going to get away with it. You can't. You see? For instance, if you tell someone, you're not man enough, man up, woman, I don't know what to say.
Wow.
That is communication.
Act like a woman.
It doesn't help. You see, so you have to make sure that your words are respectful. But the second component is actually voice tone, your tone of voice. You have to manage your tone of voice. That's skill. You see, making sure that your tone doesn't shut someone out. Now, it doesn't matter how you love each other if you shout and yell. And these are the things we get in every counseling session. People say, she yelled at me, I can't take it. You know, she shouted, he shouted at me, I can't take it. Now, a child can't take that. How about an adult?
We're no longer even yelling at children. Just imagine yelling at your
You see,
your
so
person.
communication is skill. 38% is voice tone. 55%, which is the biggest, is body language. So communication, 93% is non-verbal. You see? So body language, how do you can have a good point, but you don't know how to put it across with your body language. You're doing this, you're showing the person, you're rolling your eyes, you're doing all manner of things.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay. You see? Now, that's why that love alone is not enough. You have to sustain it with good communication. You see? You have to sustain it with commitment. You know, commitment. People think, now, if I didn't love you, would I have done I don't know what? But everything shows that you're not committed. You see? You see? Love has to be sustained by fairness. Fairness. Now, one of the things we are doing, I mean, every day, just as soon as last evening, I was talking to a couple, and you know, I was telling them, you can't think that this is acceptable to you and this is not acceptable to another person. Come on. We can't have healthy relationships where you unfairly do things and you think another person should accept it. You know, you go out, you come back at 4, and you want to be treated with VIP treatment. Come on, that can't work.
But he's a man. First of all, you can't ask him where he's coming from, and this is his home, and you're his wife.
You see that? And then they've told you when he comes at 4, you serve him hot food, and give him water and smile and sit and see how he's eating.
Yes.
Come on. You see, now, honestly, I've asked people, at 4 a.m., what meal are you eating? Let's talk about it. Is it early breakfast, tomorrow's lunch, yesterday's dinner? Like, what exactly are you doing? But on a serious note, you've been out, they've told you your wife should not call you.
Yeah.
They shouldn't call you because you're a man. You'll get upset.
Yeah.
You come home, she should wait. And how do you think she's feeling by the time you come? That she should therefore act loving? That is not sustainable. That is not, that's unfair love, you know? And so that cannot be, you see? So there are certain elements, I guess I wouldn't go through all of them, but there are certain skills that are important to make sure that we manage love and keep it warm. Otherwise, it's going to go cold and bitter and angry. That's why we are seeing all these divorces. You see, that's why we are seeing ugly marriages. I've shared statistics here before. A study was done here in Uganda. I hope you are aware, Dr. Love. In 2020, our divorce rate has skyrocketed. We are now at, as at 2020, I'm very sure we are way beyond this. It was at 12%. We were moving from 3. Now,
it's COVID because
yes,
we were
listen,
close.
You see, and then the people, out of the over 4,000 couples that were interviewed, only 11% said they were happily married. 77% said they were miserable in marriage. And honestly, it is possible in this country. And when 77%, let me just, as a student of statistics, 77% means 8 in every 10 marriages. Can you imagine when you have 8 in 10 marriages? People are miserable, but they are happily married. Rather, they are married and they are celebrating 25 years and they have an anniversary.
We have the ring.
Oh, you have the ring. But people are miserable. And you see, when we have miserable relationships, that's a recipe for bad health. It's a recipe for bad health. It's a disaster for the family. It affects children for those who have children. So this is not a joke. It's not a joke. So when we talk about managing marriages, managing love, to answer your
managing
question,
love, yes.
managing love in a more realistic, fair, respectful way. That is important, and it's good for our health as well. I've told people that when you mismanage your love, you're going to be sick. So it's not about, oh, you know, that person should bear with me. No, you actually are sick. You see, you're going to be sick. The amount of stress you generate from mistreating the immediate person in your life, you're going to be sick.
You know, you're dropping statistics that are so scary. Yes, just before I asked Dr. Love to supplement, you know, when you talked about the 77%, I just imagined those are people that we have in the workplace. You know, those are people we are working with. So when people ask why it's important to have an employee assistance program, you know, imagine if you had such people and there is no avenue to seek help. Just imagine what they are giving into work, you know. Just imagine the state of their mental well-being, you know. You're seated with people in meetings who have heartbreak. You're seated with people in meetings who have not spoken to their spouse, you know, for the last 1 month.
That's the thing.
You're seated with people in meetings who don't feel loved. So when I talk about employee assistance programs, and we have seen so much people receive help, you know, we've seen so many people receive help. And for anybody who is here and is second guessing, you know, you are a leader, you are a CEO, you are a manager in an organization, please write to us at hope@minet.co.ug. We are able to curate for you solutions that speak to your people. This is an avenue where people can seek help for such matters as these. Just imagine a confidential program, you know, for your people who are faced with these things. The 77 people could be in your organization. So just imagine if you gave them an avenue to speak to somebody like Dr. Evers. Dr. Evers is one of the people that we work with here at Minet. Dr. Love is one of the people that we work here at Minet, you know. So if people have avenues like these, you know, to speak to people and find help, then they're able to show up as better selves, as better employees, you know, at your workplace. Dr. Love, you wanted to supplement?
Yes, I wanted to supplement. Thank you, Doctor, for raising those issues. And you see that 77% has a negative impact on the 7% because they talk about marriage as being bad, they have no faith in love, and they spread their toxins to those who are trying to work hard. But what also I wanted to clarify a bit about, she was talking of logic, try to love with logic. When you fall in love, there is a rush of hormones, which is a biological function of the brain. The hormones come in you and make it really very difficult to love with logic. So the solution is dating. In my book, I am arguing for a dating time period. When you fall in love at the onset, you are flooded with hormones, with expectations, with all these imaginations and positivity. But you need time for the hormones to stabilize, for you to start seeing your partner.
We don't have that time.
with shades of some logic, not blinded by the emotion of love. So I'm arguing in my book that a period of dating is necessary for you to then stabilize, move with a person, understand them, and make a conclusion that you can easily adjust to them. They are lovable, they are your choice, they are a partner to deal with. And so therefore, because there is no perfect match, you look at percentages. And the bigger the percentage, the easier the adjustment will be. But I also wanted to contribute on how do you know if someone loves you, because it's a sort of take home from this kind of, this activity. In my book in chapter 5, I dealt with it. So I listed here a number of topics, of pointers to see if someone loves you. And some of them have been mentioned by Doctor, thank you. I want to just list for purposes of time,
Please.
Things that have not been written, and I won't explain much. Those that have not been written, when a person loves you, he makes the survival of the love a priority. Even when you're arguing, when he's annoyed with you, she's annoyed with you, the type of argument is one where they want the love.
They're arguing from a place of
They are
love.
not really bringing you down. They are not trying to argue as if they want the love to end. Then they are selfless. They try to support you even at their own expense, even when it's difficult to do that. They accept your shortcomings. They create time for you. Someone who says, I'm too busy all the time, don't
Doesn't
think it's
love me.
Yeah. Then they find gifting very easy, whether it's an anniversary or not. Love, one characteristic is that it makes you love giving. They get to know you. There is a motivation to know you. They will try to find out your history, your birthdays, your interests, your friends, your hobbies. There is that kind of... and then they are social psychologists that I wanted to quote, Tanya and John Barr. They talked about the chameleon effect, that a person who loves you finds themselves mimicking you, the way you talk, the way you gesture, the way it is a subconscious reflection of admiration. And they quote you often. So and so told me, so and so said, it seemed like he told me, like she told me. They start gesturing like you. There is a kind of chameleon effect.
You know the danger of
comes.
that? If it's a man, then we'll say he's in a bottle. Because I imagine if a man started mimicking me, and he's talking about my friends.
And according to them, it's not a decision. It's a subconscious kind of activity.
You don't realize.
You don't realize you're doing it, but you love doing it. Then they also love exclusivity with you. They are not always crowding your interaction. They want some time to be with you, to talk about us, talk about the future, talk about the relationship. But if every time you are together, they are inviting other people, yes, it's good to social, but then all the time becomes suspect. Then they also, they make you a priority. This is, he had talked about. Many times we don't have enough resources to go around. But in the distribution of resources, if you are the priority, if you are consulted sometimes, and then also love opens up private spaces. You'll find that you are being invited into their family, they are introducing you to people. Sometimes they are telling you family secrets of what happened.
And yet there are people who have been with people for about
Yeah,
5 years and they've never even met a family
you
person.
could be described as a stranger if we talk about family, because they've been with their family for a longer time. But with you, they start telling you, my aunt has this problem, we have this problem in the family. So they start seeing you as family, they open up those private spaces, you start knowing a lot about both negatives and positives, and it's an internal comparison. You cannot say, please, when you're dating, before you're sure that this is a person I can evolve with, it is a bit risky to start giving family secrets. But once they reach that personal level of even sharing their own fears, their own inadequacies, that is also a sign of love. There is also a tendency to physical affection, romance, romantic names, and you want to say it, you want to hear it, even in public, and then they involve other people. They call you sweetheart in the presence of their friends, of their siblings, of their parents. That's a statement. A statement. If someone is trying to hide you, then there is also a problem with that.
Or if he's calling you madam, you know,
or your name at work.
you're not even married to him, you're his girlfriend, and he addresses you as madam.
Yeah, there is a lot more.
Respecting you.
It's not.
Yeah, you see, sometimes we cannot make what we call like a katiba of everybody. We are 8 billion people. Some people have even outrageous differences with others. But those then will evolve with people who are similar. So in the interest of time, the rest can be found in my book, because I dwell so much on love, how we love and how we notice those who love. You must notice that a lot of disappointments in love, because love is beautiful, and so it has attracted many fraudsters, many pretenders, many want to use it as a means to achieve something. So you need to sieve out, and time is your friend in sieving out.
Wow. I think now it's very clear that love alone cannot sustain a relationship. You said something that also Dr. Evers alluded to and said there's management of love. You know, there's management of love. If you're lucky to be in love, you must be intentional about the way you communicate. You must respect the person's boundaries, you know. You won't just go around saying that is how I am. There's somebody who sent us a message right now, they're on call, and they said, this is not a question, but for people who say that's who I am, I always ask, are you a tree stuck in one place that you can't learn and evolve? I mean, even the tree branches swing when wind blows. That is one of the people who sent us something. But you talked about, when Dr. Evers talked about the statistic, the 77 and then the 11, and you said the danger is that the 77, it spills over to the 11. I have noticed that it's very easy for people to talk about a bad relationship and a bad marriage. It's normalized. But the moment you start talking about you being in a good marriage or being in a good relationship, people think that, oh, the person is showing off. So I see what you say, you know, when you say that it spills over. But you also talk...
the funny fact of life is that 20 liters of pure water can be spoiled by a drop of bad water. And yet 20 liters of bad water can't be purified by a drop of good water. So you understand that funny fact of life.
Yeah, and also, I mean, thank you. Disease is more contagious than good health.
I love that. Disease is more contagious than good health, yes. But we want to normalize these discussions, you know, because at the end of the day, they all feed into our mental well-being. We want to normalize discussions, healthy discussions. You know, if you're in a good relationship, if you're in a good marriage, make sure you talk about it, you know, confidently. Don't let anybody shame you about it. Dr. Love talked about the book that he recently he wrote. It has 100 strategies for love. So if you think that you have loved enough, probably you used 20%. Read the book. There are more strategies that you can ever imagine. But what I found very interesting in that book, you know, he mentioned the stages of dating. And he mentioned falling in love as number 4. I mean, we are falling in love at first sight. You know, we are moving so fast. You know, when I read that falling in love is step number 4, I asked myself, Are we falling in love too fast? Dr. Evas, what do you think?
Yes, I think we are. I think we are, and that's why I talked about infatuation. Because love is good. Love is powerful. It's a beautiful emotion. It gives us a lot of happiness. But as we have said, love has to have a purpose.
Okay.
Now I'm introducing another aspect.
Things are getting complicated.
Yes, because you see, if I love someone, I mean, the kind of relationships we are talking about, I'm sure a number of people listening in have heard me say, every partnership has to have a goal. So people are in relationships and they've just fallen in love. And you ask them, and they fall in, fall out, heartbroken. But then some of them, whenever I'm doing therapy, I ask, okay, what was the purpose of your relationship? What were you aiming at? And they say, I don't know.
Oh dear.
Or they say, it was just for just. Have
Happiness.
you heard just for just? And then
we just fell in love.
we
you know,
just
we-
fell
it
in
happened.
love. But you see, the way you fail, you're going to fall again, because you see, it has to be, you have to be on purpose. And that's why we were talking about logic. When I see someone, there is what we call an attraction, the science of attraction. We get attracted to people. But then we don't connect with every person we get attracted to. So there is connection.
What did you say? We don't,
We don't
get connected?
We are
we
attracted.
don't connect with every person we
First,
get
then we
attracted
connect.
to, right? I can see, I can look at Dr. Love and say, oh, this guy is a dude, right?
He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy.
Yes.
But
By
then
God's
the next,
grace.
the next message in my brain is, okay, so then what?
Okay.
You see? So that's where logic comes in. So if I get into a relationship, that's why, for instance, you've heard me talk about workplace intimate relationships. People fall in love. But then this thing has no mulamwa. You know, this is some married person with 5 children, another person. You're headed nowhere, but you're in love. Now that's infatuation. You're up to nothing. You're just, probably it's a result of proximity,
Yes.
but you're not.
It's a convenient
It's
relationship.
a convenient thing. So love should have a purpose. It should be aimed at something. And that, when you have a purpose, then you're also thinking, okay, is this the right person I'm going to be with? Are they committed? When we start asking those questions, what we talked about, knowing that someone loves you, for instance, do they prioritize me, or are they just in for their own good? Do they support my goals? Are we on the same page? If you allow me, I'll quote scripture.
Please.
The scripture in Amos 3:3, it says, two cannot walk together unless they agree.
Yes.
Now that agreement also applies to relationships. You're not on the same page. Someone is going to Masaka, another one is headed to Jinja, but somehow you're moving together. That's not true. So there are certain conversations that have to happen. For instance, we run at my company, International Center for Mental Health and Family Care, we run a 10-course or session program to prepare people for marriage, right? Yes. You have to have certain conversations, right? Why did you choose this person and not another person? You see, what is this relationship up to? Are you on the same page? But now what happens is that by the time people are beginning to think about those things, they've already acted wife and husband, and they've lived together a year, but they were not up to anything. So it becomes a problem. So I'm answering your question. Do we fall in love too quickly? Because that's why we say love has to be managed. You have to ask yourself the tough questions. Yes, I'm attracted to this person, but to which end? You see, what are we up to? So are you just going to be falling? No.
We are a fallen generation. We are falling.
And you see, that's why that's why we have the biggest problem now called broken heart syndrome. You see, People attach, detach, fall, get out, fall. You can't be falling in love and getting out, fall, love, get out. Come on. By the time you attach to the fifth person, then you have already lost a sense of connection, right? Because there is a lot of pain involved. That's why I told you at the start that love is a very complex emotion. It helps us to connect. When we connect and detach, I always use seal tape. I don't have it here. Put it on your skin, make it attach, and then remove it. It's going to go with some hairs and can hurt you and all the pain. Go take that seal tape, put it on another person, remove. By the time you get to the fifth person, this seal tape is not attaching. You see, because it has lost that
its strength,
yes, to attach. Now, this is what usually happens, and I'm not being harsh to anyone, but this is truth. And so when we attach, get out, we haven't thought about something, we just lived with someone who you didn't understand, who you thought. We can't go around thoughting. No, you have to take time, understand, contextualize your relationship. Are we together? Are we really moving together? Am I just giving things too early? Am I acting wife or husband too early? Then and people say, let's live together and see, determine. No, but so what happened? If you test and it doesn't work, test another real doesn't work, that's not love. That's
by the fifth relationship, then it can't stick.
That's
the
confusion. That's absolute confusion. And so it's important for us to evaluate the things we've talked about, things you have to consider. Are we on the same page? What are my values? Self-awareness is important, friends. Do you know yourself before you get into a relationship? Do you know the person you're dating or you want to connect with? Then, after that, you fall in love with the product you know, the brand that you know.
There's something that you've said, which I think is a takeaway for anybody who is asking about falling in love too fast. The reason I'm rushing through is because I see a number of questions that have come from you, and we love an engaged audience. So I want you to be able to speak about them. But when Dr. Evers talked about, when I asked you about falling in love too fast, I think you summarized it in a way that's very beautiful. You said we shouldn't connect with everybody we're attracted to. I think for me, that's the take home, today. Do not connect with everybody you're attracted to. It's okay to be attracted to people. It's okay. You'll find very many attractive people along the way in your workspace, everywhere. But ask yourself, do I need to be connected to this person? And there's some people who are sharing with us comments. We really appreciate them. Somebody says, they felt attacked when you said they fell in love too quickly. They said, that's why I decided to take a step back from that area of my life. Naye recently somebody has started confusing me again. Oba we are confusing each other. Nange siri sure. If you're confused, the experts have said you're not in love. Take a step back, like you said, until you're sure. And somebody says, yes, we fall in love too quickly. But I think the issues come in when you act on the said love. Okay? This one is talking about acting on the love. There's also somebody who says, okay, there are very many questions. I want us to go quickly to answer the questions. Yes, doctor.
Can I say something?
We might need more time.
Yes, I needed to say this because I've realized it over time. You see, love is an ecosystem which involves you and the other person. I want to say that with the right strategy, even the voyaging people, those who just come in for fun, the beepers, with the right strategy, someone comes in by excitement, it's very easy to arrest them and they stay. A person who is with you in love, for you are serious, for them they are semi-serious, you can actually change their attitude, their intention, and you end up stepping up together.
Through management, the management that you talked about.
The management. I needed to break it down to 3. And these are the 3 stones which I tell to married people. When you say, is love enough? You need these 3. They make the relationship work. They even attract a voyaging person to stay. 1 is value addition. We are in this life to create value to ourselves, to improve, to develop. When a person shows interest, when you are in a relationship or in a marriage, one of the mission now that you get is to be able to add value to them, to be seen, and also to be seen as adding value to them. If a person, as the doctor says, has an interest in football, an interest in business, in politics, in all these other different things that you do not have, it helps to develop that interest so that you are knowledgeable, so that you have a locus on which to sustain a conversation. If a person has things they think bring money, bring success, bring happiness to them, it is important that you be part of them. If your wife is, the doctor here is doing research now for her doctorate. If she does research and her husband is helping her tabulate the results, when she is getting her doctorate, she is seeing her husband as part of this success. So every time she's called doctor, the husband's effort will come up. If your partner is into politics and is standing for elections, we are going to be part of the process. When he's elected, they will see your effort there. Add value. Be valuable, because we look at things that add us value. Many people, and unfortunately especially females, want to think that because I give you children, because I give you sex, I cook your food, yes, it's good value, but we need to step further and be relevant in the spaces that partners consider success, happiness, money, and value. Wow. The second thing, apart from value, adding value, and in a marriage, when you add value, you become a necessary part of a person's development and very easy to dispose of. And so if you date someone and they quickly see that you are contributing to their success, you will impress them. Secondly, it's about companionship. Human beings are not loners. We are created with that yearning for a companion, that yearning for an extra person. That's why solitary confinement is a punishment. So you get a partner. I always tell people we have so many weddings, but very few marriages. A marriage is an addition of one to one to become one. When you marry, you need to find a way to integrate yourselves, your lives. Have similar friends. Let your relatives know each other. Let your investments together, maybe savings together, plan together, have a common purposes. Because that common purpose will make your differences trivial, because you have a common aim. I give an example of a football team when it's playing to win. It's not that the 11 people are friends. They may actually be rivaling over a woman, over a project, over positions. But at this time of the game, what matters is to win.
To win, yes.
So these trivial will be there because we are human beings, but they will not matter in a context of a goal. So if you're married and you're building together, you've started a business together, you create those stakeholders that then make your personal trivials, differences trivial. So companionship is integrating such that disengaging becomes difficult. The last
Maybe just before you come in, the last, I noticed that we have 5 minutes to close. It's been such engaging, and I will allow you to say it. But I'm going to read one question. I have looked through the questions. Some of them, the beauty is that our experts were able to answer them as they spoke. But I want to allow Dr. Evers to answer this, and then also give her parting shots. It's very unfortunate that the time has been quite short, but we can always come back. We run these webinars every month. There's a webinar every month. Please make sure you look out for the links and register. Write to us at hope@minet.co.ug on topics that you'd like to listen into. And if you want Dr. Lava and Dr. Evers back here, we will definitely be back. Dr. Evers, I'd like you to answer somebody who says that they have somebody, but then they've fallen in love with somebody, and that kind of infatuation has gone beyond 4 months, about 3 years, and they feel that the former love is dwindling. So they're asking, can you fall in love with two people at the same time? When you answer that, give us your parting shots.
Okay. No, you can't fall in love with two people. That is as straight as that.
Wow.
Because you have to check why you are in two relationships. Why?
They connected with somebody.
No, you
that they-
can't. Probably in one of them it is an absolute infatuation, and it could be the first one, because I told you that infatuation is self-centered. You want something from that relationship, not necessarily to grow in the relationship. I hope that is clear. You're in for a certain thing that serves you. You see? So you have to check why you're stuck in two relationships. My colleague talked about exclusivity. I really want to emphasize that for us to be happy and enjoy meaningful, healthy love relationships, exclusivity is important. And it is important to you as an individual, leave alone the people that, because people think they are faithful and exclusive for their partners. No, it's important for your mental health.
Okay.
You see, managing two relationships is confusing. It's confusing. It has to be sustained by lies. Now, anything, by lies, deception generally, and any other trickery, all that is so energy sucking. And so it doesn't look good on anyone, because exclusivity gives you peace. That's why we say a life of discipline is a life of peace and freedom.
Wow.
So if you have to manage these and manage it with negative emotions, then it is going to affect you. It's affecting you as an individual before the other people. Now, they may not know yet, but that kind of confusion triggers a lot of negative, stress hormones within you. And it doesn't look good on you because it also comes with confusion. That's why I say it's
So you can't be in love with two people at the same time.
You cannot be. You need exclusivity. And let me make it clear. Every person in a love relationship desires exclusivity. You may not achieve it, but you desire it.
Okay.
To a point that even people who are in multiple relationships, they are cheating with someone else. They also expect the other person they are cheating with to be exclusive to them. That's how it is. It's a principle in relationships, but it is important for peace and health.
Okay. Thank you so much. Your parting shots in less than a minute.
Parting shots, I just want to say, love is great. Love is amazing, but love needs to be authentic.
Thank you.
So for us to enjoy love, try as much as possible to make it what we call true love. With those three elements I mentioned, number one, it has to be affectionate,
kind, commitment.
and commitment.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ivas. Very quickly, Dr. Love, before your parting shots, somebody's asking, they've noticed that they've fallen out of love. What can they do? We have a minute to close. Tell us what we can do if we're falling out of love.
For me, I think it depends on what stage. If it is dating, I think once you're not married, once you're not married and you feel you've fallen out, that is a warning before you make it a lasting commitment. Now, when it's a lasting commitment and it's a marriage, it's more than love, because there are stakeholders in that relationship. They are children, they are relatives who are now friends, they are people who look up to you as their role model. They are joint investments, there is a whole lifetime investment. You see, an investment in a love relationship requires time, requires money, requires energy, requires emotions, even opportunity cost. So once you feel you're falling out in love, it's much better to identify the causes and work on them, work on bringing back the love.
I think we're going to make it a series where Dr. Love comes and tells us what steps we can take.
Yes,
but because we are out of time, please follow us on all our socials, on X, We want to see if we can carry on the conversation, but like I've said, we have webinars every month. Please write to us at hope@minet.co.ug, and if you'd like us to tailor a program for your staff, please still write to us, hope@minet.co.ug. Follow Minet for other conversations, but we'd also like to allow Dr. Love to give us his parting shots, and then we can close.
Yes, briefly, I've written a book. I have put research in it. I've done focus group discussions. I have put my best foot forward because I know love is an emotion which, well handled, will make all the other areas, especially mental health, much more positive. But I need you to know that you are inadequate as a human being. No one is perfect. So love makes us want our partners to be perfect, and this is normal. But just know that you wouldn't handle a perfect partner because even you are not perfect. So learn to accept the differences, actually look for them, learn and understand them, adjust to that which you cannot align, try to align, forgive, forget. It's a long, protracted struggle because we are not perfect. We are going to annoy each other, but that requires love to sustain. Please marry for love, follow love, accept it, because it will make all this adjustment and a relationship with an imperfect person easier and more pleasing.
More manageable.
Manageable and happy
Thank you so much, doctors. Dr. Love and Dr. Ivas would like to close this. I know that you would have desired that we stay longer, but we will be back. And before we leave, I'd like to let anybody who is following, you may not have asked a question, but you have an employee assistance program at your work supported by Minet. Now, if you have that, then you have a chance to speak to our panelists today, to book a session, to speak to them. The session may not just be for yourself, but maybe it's a couple's session, or it's your sister who you're living with, because it's not just for the staff. Also, the dependents get to benefit from this. If you'd like to see Dr. Ivas, if you'd like to speak to Dr. Love, please write to us at hope@minet.co.ug, and we see how we can schedule a session for you. And if you don't have an EAP, please write to us at hope@minet, and then we'll see how we can tailor one for you. Thank you so much for joining in. Definitely the topic of love is more complex, but they've tried, I think they've done it justice. They've done it justice from the questions and the responses. Thank you so much. I can assure you that we'll be back again. Thank you, and would like to wish you a wonderful day. Goodbye.